Alright, so you got a guitar. The first thing you need to do is tune your guitar. It doesn't matter how good your chords are that you make. If you don't tune your guitar first, it's going to sound terrible. So, you must tune your guitar. In order to do that, you have to know what the strings are. Each string is a note. So you have to know what each string is to be able to tune that. So I came up with a sentence to help me remember what each string represented. My sentence was, Eddie and Doug get breakfast early. Eddie and Doug get breakfast early. So Eddie, that's E. The first string is E, and A, and so on and so forth. Eddie and Doug get breakfast early. Now you can come up with whatever you like. That's just my silly little sentence that I came up with. So you need a tuner, and I use a little Snark clip-on tuner. I like the clip-ons because they use the vibration of the guitar instead of the sound. But you can use any tuner works. You can use an app on your phone. Those work fine. But it does have to be quiet in the room because it's listening to the sound, whereas these feel the vibration of the string. So, now that you know what the strings are from top to bottom, let's tune that guitar. So tuners, the display is set up kind of like a speedometer in your car. There's a meter, a needle there that's going, back and forth. What you want to do is get that note. Once it says the right note, like so E, you want to get that meter up in the middle, right in the center. Sometimes the tuner might light up green when it's perfectly in tune. There may be a green dot at the top that you're trying to get the needle to, but you want to get that needle to the center. That's the idea. So I've got a little Snark here on the end, but I'm also using the app on my phone just to show you kind of how it works. And you don't have to turn these very much. So let's watch when I tune this string, how little I have to turn it. So the first string is E, so let's tune that E string. Okay, so the needle's a little bit down to the left. So let's turn. And you may not know which way to turn, but if the needle is to the left, that means it's too low. This is low, and this is up or higher. So let's turn and just see what happens. Whoops, wrong way. I'm going away from the center. I want to go towards the center. So let's just turn the other way. And it's climbing. And there we go. Right there in the center. And that's how you tune your guitar. That's how you read the tuners. Let's tune one more here. Well, that one's already in tune. So you wouldn't need to turn it. But, you can kind of watch. And if you turn it this way, the needle's moving down. So I want to turn it the other way. And let it go up. Until we get right there in the center. And that's how you tune your guitar. Make sure you know what the strings are, what letter they are. My sentence was Eddie and Doug get breakfast early. As long as you know that, then you can tune it correctly. Now, there are some issues that you may run into. With the tuner on my phone, it knows what string I'm trying to tune no matter what. No matter how far off it is. But with this little Snark tuner, let me see if I can get my camera view on it for you. With my little Snark, if say I've got a little brother or a little sister that comes and they just really turn that thing. It doesn't take much to get it way out of tune. That's not an E note anymore. Now there are some times where your tuner will show the wrong letter. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, I'm on the top string, which should be E, but as you can see, my Snark tuner, it says C sharp. So if you're not careful, what happens is you will just get that tuner in the center like you know it's supposed to be, right on the green. There we go, we're in tune. Perfect. No, not perfect, because that says C sharp, and this is supposed to be the E note. You have to tune it to the correct note. So how do we know, how in the world do we get it to the E note? Well, I like to think of the letters in music like a stair stepper, or stairs. So A being the first step, and B is the second step. So A, B, C, D, E, like that. So this tuner says C, or C sharp. So where is E in relation to C? A, B, C, D, E. So E is above C. E is higher, so we have to go up in order to get to E, the note we're trying to get to. Which way is up? Well, just turn and listen. Whoops, that's down. So we want to go the other way until we get to E. So let's see if we can find E. Not there. And you're going to have to turn a good little bit if it's this far off. There's D. We're getting closer. D sharp. We're not there yet. A, B, C, D, E should be next. There's E. There's the correct note. And now we're in tune. So watch out for that. You want to make sure your tuner is telling you the right note. And if it's not, now you know how to find the right note. And one thing I forgot to mention, if you're not sure which tuner to turn, which peg to turn, the most sure way and easiest way to make sure you're turning the right peg whenever you're trying to tune, if you follow that string, if we're tuning the top string, follow that string all the way down, and it runs into this peg right here. So that's the one we want to turn whenever we're tuning this string. And so the next string is the next peg. So that's one way that you can just make sure that you're turning the right tuner, the right peg, because you may be trying to tune a string and you're turning and turning and turning, but the tuner is not changing and you may be turning the wrong peg. You got to be careful. If you turn it too far, it's possible you may break a string. But just be careful and make sure you're turning the right peg.